And there's a lot of components to an MSP. Jared, can you tell us a little bit about the differences between a managed service plan and the traditional customer success plan?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just let me know, once that's coming through and looks good for everybody.
Looks
Looking
good.
good.
Cool deal. So many of the people tuning in here are probably aware of our customer success plans, right? We have two levels of them, the essentials and then the elite CSP. These already bring a lot of value to the table. Of course, you get your 3D printing credits. They come with Solid Professor. That's a big one that a lot of folks like. And a lot of people have been taking advantage of these Ask an Expert sessions. This is like a 2-hour block of time where you can get with somebody like me to discuss something that you want to dig deeper into within the portfolio of solutions that we offer. And of course, training credits and service discounts, those are just kind of no-brainers as far as the value behind them. So the MSP is an extension of that. You get all of the stuff that comes with a customer success plan, but in addition to that, we're really focused on being more proactive instead of just being reactive. That's really what I think the big mentality shift is whenever we're talking about the difference between, just reacting. If something's broken, we'll go ahead and try to fix it, and then you have the downtime that comes along with it. Versus an MSP, we're really trying to avoid downtime altogether and ensure that you're putting best practices into place at your organization. So just some of the things that are included in an MSP will, of course, take care of upgrading your software. So anytime you need, if you need a PDM upgrade, that's typically a big one that people will reach out to us for, because there are some best practices you want to make sure you implement whenever you do something like that. But you can reach out to us, and instead of having to set up a service project, we take care of it for you. Same thing for if you want to maybe configure like an admin image. If you have a larger team and you want to have that configured to where you can push out installations whenever you're doing that upgrade, we knock that out for you. This next one, PDM audits. This is a big one that I've just seen as a really effective way to ensure that everyone on your team, whenever everyone on the team's working in PDM, but to make sure that everyone there is working according to best practices and using the software to its fullest potential. I've had like maybe 2 or 3 conversations just this week that have been really focused around PDM audits and just people wanting to make sure, especially a lot of people are concerned about CMMC certifications. That's a big one right now. And PDM is a tool that you can use to help you attain those sorts of things. So yeah, we come in and once a year we'll do a PDM audit, and that means going through every little nook and cranny of PDM and the configuration, and making sure it makes sense for your business to be optimal. Same thing with like a SolidWorks audit. If it comes down to modeling practices, going ahead and making sure that basically everyone on the team is using best practices and working according, to a standard. So we'll take one of your SolidWorks assemblies and part models, run through it, give recommendations to make sure that this is going to perform well. Just as a real world example, I know a lot of people struggle with large assembly performance. So this is a way to get feedback, and we tailor that messaging and give you the information you need so that you can implement those best practices and get much better performance with your larger assemblies. Quarterly user meetings. Michael, you and I had one recently, and we were really pretty impressed with just the level of engagement and just how the flow of information really helped everyone kind of get on the same page as part of that organization. So not that you can't have your own user meeting, but having that in the context of having a technical expert for the software in that meeting really helps guide it and ensure everyone's using the software to the best of their capabilities, But I was pretty impressed with the one you and I had ran, a couple of weeks back.
I think it went very well.
Yeah, and especially if you're in, not necessarily just a large organization, but like a medium to large organization, I guarantee you there's people around there that know how to do certain things that are really efficient, and getting that information flowing, that's one way that we can help facilitate that flow of information. Um, I know I'm talking for a while here because there's quite a bit that's offered with an MSP. So moving on down the list, what software configuration review, just taking a look at your system options, making sure that those sorts of things are configured correctly. Um, that's another one where we can assist with setting up even a configuration file or a settings file and pushing that out to make sure everyone is on the same page. Software administration, what we mean by that is in the event that, hey, you want to make a change to your PDM workflow. I've got a new workflow that I need to get set up. Help me out. Instead of scoping something out, we can step in and assist with that. Or if you need new users or groups and their permissions set up, we can come in, and we're basically your PDM admin or your software and SolidWorks admin at that point. So I'm getting towards the end of this list. Bear with me, guys. Training. This one right here, I think, makes this pretty much a no-brainer. Basically, if you have an MSP with us, you can take any public training class that we offer, and you can attend each class up to once per year. Okay, so that kind of goes back to making sure that people are implementing best practices. Let's say that we submit an audit on one of the SolidWorks models, and maybe people are using some incorrect techniques. Okay, send them to a public training class, and it's included with the cost of an MSP.